Okay, this final segment then is really about chapter 15 entirely. I'm just not going to make any comments about the chapter 14 called discrimination. Obviously, that's not because it's not an issue any of us are not facing, or an issue that you needn't be familiar with as a practitioner. It's just that I think the book does a fine job of at least introducing the concepts. So I'm not going to spend any more time on it. But chapter 15, and if I was designing the book, I would not leave this chapter in chapter 15. I would address this much earlier along the way in the course. But this is a big part of every elder lawyer's practice in 2015. And part of it might be that this is evolving and it's becoming more and more important. So, veterans benefits is probably going to be deserving of more and more space in the course book over time. But here's what it's all about, and I think the book does a decent job of introducing it. But veterans benefits there's a unique sort of niche area wherein elder lawyers assist veterans or loved ones of veterans or spouses of veterans in gaining eligibility for an unhealthy veteran to eligible for a benefit that is known in the trade as aid and attendance. And it's a very lucrative benefit for certain veterans to the tune of over $2,100 a month. And so that can be very, very helpful and go a long way towards paying, for example, assisted living. So here's what it's all about. So certain veterans and the spouses of veterans are eligible for this benefit. The veteran need have only served 1 day during a wartime period. So you had to have served during a wartime. And war times, well, we still have some, very few, but we still have some World War II veterans out there. We've got Korea veterans. We're starting to get Vietnam veterans who are aging and having health-related issues. And then obviously there are Iraq War veterans. Don't see many, but probably will in the future. In any case, if a veteran was on active duty for 90 days total and 1 day at least during a wartime period, then they meet that criteria. And then from there, the real big hurdles are asset and income hurdles. But if a veteran is essentially spending more money on their healthcare needs every month than they bring in, then they're eligible for this benefit. There's some asset rules, and I think those can be dealt with without too much trouble. It's the income hurdle that creates the problem. So invariably, you've got a veteran who has $2,400 in income between Social Security and some pension, some retirement pension or something, and they are they've moved into assisted living, and the assisted living bill is say $4,300 a month. Well, that's an easy one. So long as that is that cost of care on a monthly, from month to month, I guess. If that is exceeding household income, then they're going to be eligible. There's an upper limit to assets they can have, but the upper asset limit is around $120,000 in a house. So there's going to be some veterans that are ineligible, that are over resourced, as we call it. But usually we can work around those rules. But what's interesting, I think, about veterans benefits is it's a great way to assist a veteran and pay for a family member to help take care of them. That's what's unique about it. So you've got a lot of situations where you've got a child who's underemployed or who has had to stop working because they're taking care of mom or dad. or is working less, or is really stressed, or maybe they lost a job, or they stopped working at a job altogether to help take care of them. With the assistance of good elder law help, you can pay a family caregiver X amount of dollars a week or a month or something, and then become eligible for the VA benefit to help pay that kid. In any case, it's a really tricky and difficult area, and it's a lot like Medicaid work, and we talked about that early on in the term. And it has a lot of the same rules, and there's very specific rules about what a veteran can own, and how much income they can have, and so forth, to become eligible. And then the application process is very, very cumbersome, and it's very long, and it drags on for months and months and months. But I can assure you, as a planner, it is rewarding when you finally do get an approval from the VA for a veteran for a $2,000 a month pension that they otherwise either would never have known about or would never have been eligible for. So, pay special attention in Chapter 15. I assigned a few questions to help sort of reinforce how important I think it is to become familiar with this. But I can assure you, in your practice, you'll see it, and it'll be a part of any elder law practice you might work at.